All right, today we're tackling one of the most fascinating figures from the ancient world, the Sumerian goddess Inanna. Now, she is a goddess of some major contradictions, and that's exactly what we're going to unpack. I mean, think about it. How can one single deity be the queen of passionate, life-giving love and also brutal, destructive war? It just doesn't seem to fit, right? So let's get into it and see if we can make sense of this. Okay, first things first. You have to get just how huge her influence was. We're not talking about some minor local deity here. The Sumerians knew her as Inanna, sure, but as her worship spread, other cultures were like, yep, we want in on that. So she becomes Ishtar to the Akkadians, Astarte to the Phoenicians, and you can even see echoes of her in the Greek Aphrodite and the Roman Venus. This list, it's not just a bunch of names. It's basically a roadmap of her incredible influence all across the ancient world. So, who was she really? To get to the bottom of this goddess of contradictions, we've got to go right back to the beginning. So here's the basic rundown. Inanna was one of the original Big Seven, the top-tier deities of Sumer. Her domains were love, fertility, procreation, and also war. And look, that wasn't some minor side gig for her. It was a core part of who she was right from the very start. And, the plot thickens. Her family tree is, well, it's complicated. Depending on which myth you're reading, she's either the daughter of Enki, the god of wisdom, or Nanna, the moon god. She's the twin sister of the sun god Utu, and, this is a big one, the sister of Ereshkigal, the queen of the underworld. And trust me, that sisterly relationship is going to be super important later. All this ambiguity just adds another layer to her already complex character. Now, Inanna didn't just show up as the top goddess in Mesopotamia. Oh no. Her journey to becoming the Queen of Heaven was a climb, a really smart and calculated rise to power. And she had some pretty powerful people backing her up. So, how'd she pull it off? This timeline here gives us the perfect highlight reel. She starts out as a local deity in the city of Uruk. Then comes the game changer, Sargon of Akkad, one of history's first guys to build a massive empire. He claims her as his personal protector in battle. That's huge. It links her directly to kingship and military might. And then, the final piece, the high priestess Enheduanna, who happens to be Sargon's daughter and the first author in history we know by name, writes these absolutely epic hymns to Inanna. That's what really sealed the deal, cementing her as the most popular and powerful goddess in the whole region. Okay, let's circle back to that central puzzle, love and war. Why would the ancient Sumerians put these two seemingly opposite forces into one goddess? What did they see that maybe we don't? I mean, just look at the two sides of her. On one hand, you've got the goddess of fertility, of passion, of desire, explicitly tied to sex outside of marriage. She's wild and free. But then you've got this other side, a terrifying warrior decked out in armor with a bow in her hand. Maybe, just maybe, for the Sumerians, love and war weren't opposites at all. Maybe they were two sides of the same coin. Think about it. Both are chaotic, passionate, and have the power to completely change your life. Inanna, she's the embodiment of both. And her symbols, they capture this perfectly. You almost always see her with a lion, the ultimate ancient symbol of raw power and courage. But she's not just, standing next to it. In a lot of art, she's riding it, standing right on its back. The message there is crystal clear. She has mastered the fiercest beast, the quote-unquote king of animals. She is in total control. And this is a really important point to get. Inanna doesn't fit into our neat little boxes. As the scholar Jeremy Black points out, she's not a goddess of marriage, and she's not a mother goddess. She represents a totally different kind of female power, one that's independent, sexually free, and isn't defined by a husband or kids. She's a force all on her own. The best way to really get a feel for her character is to look at the stories they told about her. And these myths are all about one thing, her relentless, driving ambition. Okay, her most famous myth by far is the descent of Inanna. In this incredible epic, she basically decides she's going to conquer the underworld, which, by the way, is ruled by her own sister. It's this incredibly bold, calculated power grab. She wants to expand her territory into the realm of death itself. Now, it doesn't quite go according to plan, but it tells you everything you need to know about her ambition. She is never, ever satisfied. We see that same fire in another huge epic, the Epic of Gilgamesh, where she shows up as Ishtar. She propositions the hero, Gilgamesh, but he turns her down flat and even insults her by listing all the lovers she's thrown away. Well, she does not take that well. In a fit of pure, vengeful rage, she goes straight to the heavens and unleashes the bull of heaven to just wreck his entire city. This is way beyond a simple lover spat. This is a show of divine, terrifying power when she's crossed. But she wasn't all about rage and brute force. She was also incredibly clever. There's this other great story where she goes to visit Enki, the god of wisdom, gets him completely hammered, and then tricks him into giving her the secret meh. Now, the meh were basically the divine blueprints for civilization, everything from law and kingship to blacksmithing. She steals them, makes a clean getaway, and brings them back to her home city of Uruk, making it the center of the world. So she's a warrior, a lover, and a cunning champion for her people. So, after all this, why are we still talking about an ancient goddess from Mesopotamia? Because her influence didn't just fade away with the Sumerians. It has literally echoed down through thousands of years of human history. You can literally trace her lineage through different cultures. Her core identity, this powerful goddess of love, sex, and war, was just so compelling that civilization after civilization adopted her and gave her a new name. She goes from Inanna to Ishtar to Astarte, all the way to Aphrodite and Venus. The names change, but that fundamental, contradictory power, it's always there. And what's really amazing is how she survived. See, under Hammurabi of Babylon, there was this big cultural shift where a lot of goddesses got pushed to the side for more powerful male gods, but not Inanna. Her warrior side was so potent that the Assyrians, who were a super militaristic society, fully embraced her as Ishtar, their main goddess of war. Her ferocity basically guaranteed her survival. Her worship was also something else. It was incredibly inclusive for its time. Her clergy wasn't just limited to men or women. The ancient texts talk about a third gender, people who lived outside traditional gender roles serving in her temples. It just goes to show you that her appeal was universal, breaking down the rigid social barriers of the ancient world. And believe it or not, she is still with us today. From the very beginning, Inanna was linked to the planet Venus, that bright star you see in the morning and evening. So every single time you look up into the sky and see it, you are looking at the same celestial body that, for thousands of years, people saw as this powerful, complex, incredible goddess. Which brings us right back to where we started. Inanna's story isn't just a history lesson. It's a mirror, reflecting our own fascination with figures who are full of contradictions. Her enduring legacy really makes you wonder, doesn't it? Thousands of years later, why are we still so captivated by this idea of feminine power that is both the creator and the destroyer, the lover and the warrior? It seems some stories really are timeless,